Alongside Brent Hubbs, I'm Austin Price for the 2-minute drill on this Tuesday. Got to hear from Jeremy Pruitt after practice. Let's start with Balin Buchanan. We've said for a while in the War Room and in podcasts that we didn't expect him to be a real factor, at least for the foreseeable future. Coach Pruitt confirming that on Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, and got specific with what the injury is and calling it a spinal stenosis, a narrowing of the spinal column. The question right now is, when did this happen? Is this a result of an injury? Is this something he's dealt with? That's what specialists are trying to figure out. That's the same diagnosis that ended Cooper Manning's career at Ole Miss, for those who know that. And so the concern is, can he take the contact? That's why they're being very cautious with the specialist. Doesn't sound like we're going to see him anytime soon.
Typical kind of coach speak after, following up on Sunday's scrimmage. Some things happy with, but on the whole, just got to continue to be more consistent and get better.
Yeah, if you find a coach in the country that liked his team's first scrimmage, let me know, because that's about the equivalent of everybody saying they worked harder than they've ever worked in the summertime. No coach is ever really happy. But a couple things that jumped out. We heard about Eric Gray and the vision and all the great things about Eric Gray. Downplayed Eric a little bit from the standpoint needs to hold on to the ball, but certainly mentioned he was a playmaker for them. And then I think offensively the biggest takeaway was eliminating mistakes. I think they continue to shoot themselves in the foot, and that's why they settled for field goals on Sunday. And it's pre-snap penalties. It's just mistakes that they made, something we talked about all spring long and Jim Chaney's talked about.
Not in a rush to name the starting 5 offensive linemen. Coach Pruitt even noting on this Tuesday that, before, there's been 7 or 8 man rotations where he's been. He's not going to, shoot down that theory either. Jim Chaney very active today at practice with the offensive line.
Yeah, finish, and I think that was something Coach Pruitt talked about. We saw Jim Chaney talking about that today. I thought it was interesting with Pruitt. He almost sort of said, I don't want anybody on the offensive line to be comfortable, because you kind of want to keep them on edge to keep the competition going. So I wonder if they have a pretty good idea who their 5 is going to be, but they don't want any of those 5 guys getting comfortable. We'll see. I thought the other interesting takeaway was defensively, just kind of the football IQ that the defensive lineman needs to learn. And he went into a kind of a metaphor about that. It sounds like the defensive line physically is doing some okay things. They just need to help themselves more pre-snap.
Go back a year ago, Tracy Rocker was very, very boisterous on the practice field with those seniors early, and then he kind of quietened down when he realized that he really needed those guys. Jeremy Pruitt taking a similar approach with Garantano. Said Saturday wasn't his best day, but overall has had a really good fall camp, complimentary of his Richard Jr.
Well, he's their guy. Okay, I mean, it's the reason why Jeremy Pruitt.
It was the only starter he named.
Right, and that's the reason Jeremy Pruitt said at SEC Media Days, he's our guy, because they have to have him, okay? And you're not going to create any doubt there. You're not going to create any issues, any concerns there. Was he great on Sunday? Not as good as he needs to be. He knows that. Jared's played enough football to know that. They don't have to worry about him, putting in the work and doing what he needs to do to take that next step. So I'm not surprised at all that he went that direction that he went with Garantano. A couple other quick notes news-wise. Aubrey Solomon, no new news there. Going to continue to rep him as if he is eligible, it sounds like. So we'll see how that progresses throughout the week and if they can get any answer there. And in talking to Jeremy Pruitt and some other people, it doesn't sound like right now the plan is for Trey Smith to scrimmage when Tennessee goes back to the scrimmage field this weekend.
That'll be on Saturday. He's Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price. Complete coverage throughout the night at VolQuest.com.